Howdy Banger pals, Blayne Smith welcoming you to another Overkill Reviews, Banger's weekly metal review show. And before we get to the review, we just have a little off the top, a Patreon shout out. Our boy Derek Jarman, long-time subscriber. We love you, homie. He's got 2 albums he'd like to shout out, just have you check out, because at our top tier, you can get a little message into the videos, and everybody chooses to use their message to promote bands that they have no affiliation with and just like, because we do have a really great community here. So the 2 albums Derek wants you to know about are Gigafauna's Eye to Windward. It's a progressive death album that leans into the progressive part of the subgenre, and The Man-Eating Tree, Night versus its atmospheric melodeath with a hint of goth. For anyone who misses Ghost Brigade, this is as close as he's found. So there's 2 albums, so look at that. We're starting with shoutouts, and now into the album I'm talking about today, and then at the end, even more shoutouts. Yes, it's the new album from MÅNEGARM called Edsvuren. It came out today, August 29th on Napalm Records. MÅNEGARM, and that's as close as I'm going to get to saying it right, are a long-standing act in the Viking metal subgenre, and one of the few that haven't deviated away from it. Formed all the way back in 1995, there are no notable lineup changes in recent history, no wild, crazy thing. They're a band that have been trucking along in Viking for a while, so I don't have anything to make this portion spicy. You might be asking, why is Blayne reviewing this? Is it because I am a mercenary and will just review anything, a gun for hire? Technically, yes, but it is worth reminding you that I like bands like Verakalpa and Trolled. I've featured both of those bands in Metal Monthly twice, so I do, in fact, like this stuff. And years ago, I wore a Tear shirt that I got from a Tear concert in a video, but it was in the skinny Blayne era, and the t-shirt was a large, and people in the comments legitimately asked if I was ill, so I never wore it again. Anyways, on with the review. Well, off the top, we could spend our time arguing whether Viking is a real genre or if it's a theme thing, and I would fall on the no, it's not a real genre side of the line. At the end of the day, it just seems to mean folk metal that's fun, and yes, this record has many fun moments, even if that's slightly anachronistic, because the Viking era was between 800 and 1050 CE, and fun wasn't invented until the 1980s. Unsurprisingly, the album opens very fun with one of the singles that there's no chance I can pronounce. It also features Eric Grossia, his daughter, doing some vocals, which is nice and wholesome. You love to see, good family bonds like that, but it is also slightly terrifying because she's 20 and oh God, the steady creep of time is coming for us all. I'll be 40 next year. Yikes. The second track, which I also cannot pronounce, I'm not even gonna try. It serves to remind us that this is a Viking band with a bit of a blackened edge, so obviously I'm partial to that as well, especially because of the long-ass solo it serves us as the track goes on. Aside, it has a chant that sounds a lot like Enigma's Return to Innocence, and you might think, I don't know what that song is, Blayne, but I guarantee you do. Allow me to. Now, this next part could be a negative or it could be a positive, depending on how you look at it. Track 3, also, shocker, can't pronounce, sounds a lot like Through the Fire and the Flames to me. Like, a lot, which you could certainly count as a negative, but that is an undeniably fun song, so I guess it fits the brief. I don't know. You can have a listen, see if you hear it. Boy, howdy, this album is so fun. Let's move on to track 4, he said ominously.
It was at this moment that he knew.
Oh, geezer, what the hell happened? Let's break down how things go after track 3. 4, short acoustic folk. 5, long acoustic folk. 6, long mid-tempo blackened. 7, short mid-tempo blackened. 8, short acoustic folk. That is 5-track, 18.5-minute energy vacuum dropped in the middle of the record. Oof. Why would you do this? Even assuming you absolutely love simple folk tracks and mid-tempo crawls, why butt them up against each other, just kneecapping the impact of the song you just played? It boggles the mind that you would put 2 acoustic folk tracks up against each other. They sound like interludes. It's like that there's a song missing in the middle, and you don't have to do that much to fix it. Just switch tracks 5 and 6, and it would help the album so much by having it go folk, black and folk, black and folk. This feels like pretty basic album construction stuff. This isn't one of the really advanced Lego sets. It's not one of the Gundams I do. You can put this together in a couple of minutes. Switch one of the 3 first really fun songs for one of the mid-tempo black, and we'd be cooking enough that I might not even have been complaining right here. But as it stands, this record just has a big fat lump of coal in the middle. I guess I've been a bad boy. Complete energy vacuum. Who planned this? Colin Robinson? What happened? Thankfully, for tracks 9 and 10, they come back to their senses and we get some faster songs that address our rapidly depleting fun levels, while track 10 might be mostly forgettable. After the desert we've just come through, it might as well be a lush and fertile oasis. No, don't you dare. We're Team Blur in this house. Thank you very much. So, the real story is track 9, which is the grandest focal point song around which the album sits. At 7 minutes 6 seconds, it towers by over a minute taller than the next longest track on the album. And it really is the whole thing in a microcosm, because it's a big, fun, high energy track, and then I cannot make this up, 3 minutes in, abrupt halt, 2 minutes of folk, right into 45 seconds of mid-tempo blackened, and mid-tempoed is generous of me, before we bring back in the fun folk to close it out. Yes, after 18.5 minutes of that shit, we get 3 minutes reprieve before we're back in. I try and get out and they keep pulling me back in. I will say I did find it so legitimately hilarious that it does make me laugh every time I get to that song. At least it got me smiling, so it can't be held as a negative. If I removed the track and just heard it on its own, I would say overall cool song and I do like it. So let's have 30 seconds of the fun and then 13 seconds of experiencing the awkward halt. Are you kidding me? I just can't. I truly can't. The album closes with a long acoustic folk song, and then what follows it up? Say it with me now. A short acoustic folk song. Like, seriously, what the hell? It makes my mind scream. Egregious, outrageous, salacious, preposterous. It's turning me into a showboating black lawyer. Because, like, again, switch tracks 10, 11, and I don't have to say this, we have fun track, we have folk, we have fun track, we have folk. I'm losing it. I'm losing it. This structure only serves to make bright spots shine so much less. The great solo that closes out track, the short mid-tempoed black track 7, even me saying it like that is less awkward than me saying it, trying to pronounce what it's actually called. Regardless, that track has a great solo that closes things out, and it's such a sudden jolt of energy that would have hit so much harder if I didn't sit through 9 straight minutes of the exact same thing to get to it. The layering of these ingredients is like that meme of the incredibly incorrectly wrapped burrito where it's just everything's like this as opposed to like this. So when you and I already touched on how much this hurts. What I imagine is the track they poured the most into on the album, because it's not exciting to hear all the parts of the album come together in one grand track after I just slogged through so much of it. It's got me spitting. It's got me spitting on the cloth here. Someone else is going to have to use this. If this was COVID, that we would have had to put cones around this. I've never seen a clearer example of an album that needed a harsh friend. This is a first draft, and it's a really good first draft. You look at it and you go, okay, what parts can we cut? And then bang, 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 track 5, 6, 12, out the window, and you've got 38 minutes of the best record MÅNEGARM have written since what, 2009's Nattvassen? Boy, is there a great album in here, but much like the Wigan kebab, they stuck a delicious pie into a bread roll, absolutely boggling the mind to understand why. How does that make it better? There are tracks on this thing that take me back to seeing Tear in 2010 type feeling, but once track 3 ends, I have no desire to listen to the rest of the album, even though I really enjoy track 9. It just doesn't feel worth the near 20 minutes it takes to get there, and that's not a good way to feel about a record, my friends. I should still be fresh and excited. I do have to give them credit, though, for another great album cover by their longtime boy, Christopher Wimp, more like Christopher Big Strong Man. Because so many bands just constantly are changing their album cover artist, and then they nail a really good one, and then they're on to a bad one. And I love when you find a good homie, and you just stick with the homie. It's no Wolf in the Moon, but it is still fantastic. So I have to give this album 2.5 out of 5 Wigan kebabs. What do you think about it, though? Am I just normal Blayne hating ass little bitch, or is there a big fat gulf in the middle of this thing? Thus, we move on to shoutouts. Do I have shoutouts that sound like I don't have any Viking metal shoutouts? I do have some stuff you might like. There's a Death Doom band, Pilgrimage, who are releasing From Amber to Sun on Muse Music. That is, you know, it's got some feelings. It's got some feelings in there that you might feel while listening to this record. But and then we have a sludge band, but there's like kind of a fantasy element to it. I don't know, Trudger, Void Quest, Floodlit Recordings. I don't need to tie these to the album. I don't know why I keep trying. There's just two good those are 2 good records. If you like records, there's 2 to get. So that is it for this review. Let me know in the comments how did it vibe with you, and just say hi or make fun of me or whatever. I love them all.